Christos Voskrese, Christ is risen, Christos Voskrese.
Christos Voskrese, is smrti, smrt
With these beautiful words of our Paschal Easter Troparion, Christos Voskrese, Christ is risen, I greet you, dearly beloved, on this fourth day of Pascha with the very same kind of joy, because Pascha is not just on the first day, Pascha is not just the first 3 days of Easter. Pascha is not even during those 40 days during which we sing Christos Voskrese. Pascha, Easter, resurrection should be a permanent state of our soul and our mind, so that each and every day during the year we could repeat the words of Saint Seraphim of Sarov, who throughout the whole year, whenever he would see another human being, he would greet that person with, Christ is risen, my joy, which means for him every day was a resurrection, and the meeting with every person was a true joy. We just finished here at our St. Archangel Michael Church a uniquely beautiful service called Akatistos to Jesus, the conqueror of death, written 111 years ago by Saint Nikolai Velimirovich, one of the most beautiful poetic germs in the contemporary hymnography, because Saint Nikolai wrote this text in the style of the old Kontakia, which disappeared almost by the time of the end of the 7th century, and certainly after the 8th century we had less and less of those old Kontakia, which were, as a matter of fact, the sermons written in a poetic style. Listen to a few parts from these magnificent texts written so prayerfully but so beautifully and spiritually, certainly, by Saint Nikolai. In the Ecos 2 we read, Everything in man is old, like a disease, like an old garment hung out on a thorn. Such are all human victories and defeats. And when people think, when they speak, when they labor, they just bring their junk out into the bazaar. Young men think like old men think like the dead. The dead smell no worse than those living on earth. Everything is old, like the defeat of once defeated long ago, defeated from the beginning, since even the beginning of history is itself a defeat. Thou art the only novelty, my conqueror. After the first man, thou art the only new man. In the sleepy caravan of history, thou art the only unexpected oasis. In the death-like surgery, tedious expectation of death and burying of life, thou art the only thunder. Everything concerning thee is new, my Jesus, from birth to death, and from death to eternity. What a beautiful excursion through human life, through the entire history, from the beginning of time until Jesus. Because really, everything bears in itself the smell of death until the coming of the one who is the only conqueror of death. And listen how Saint Nikolai writes in the Ecos 3. Since evil spirits are the parents of sin, and sin is the parent of death, so death is the parent of fear, and fear has become the everyday air of the human soul. Such a perfect and a detailed analysis where fear comes from, you could hardly find in any psychology books. That's why we always stress the fact that the best psychologists are people who are deeply immersed in the prayer, because only in the prayer and through the prayer the real state of one's soul comes to daily light. And as the last portion for today, I would like to share with you the part of Ecos 11, where Saint Nikolai says the following: The sower went into the field and sowed seed. Neither did the soil sense what beauty was hidden beneath its surface, nor the sun what flame would shoot up from the tilled soil to face its own rays. In the midst of the greatest storm, thou didst sow divine seed, O heavenly sower. All the winds rose up against that sowing, and all the earthly powers were in arms against thy seed. Resigned to despair and obedient to death, all sowers of the earth were shouting at thee. A cold field is the earth for the seed of love which thou sowest, and upon her only thorns and of the law will sprout and grow. Our earth is decayed because of death, and upon her no godly life sprouts or grows, neither will it blossom nor ripen. But thou, with knowledge as the experienced master of the estate, hast planted, and with authority as the Lord, didst command the earth to be calm, and the sun to provide warmth. Thus the seed sprouted and grew, a flaming crop of holiness and love. And indeed, what better, what holier, what more beneficent crop we could ever wish than crop of holiness and love, which should be the ultimate goal of each and everyone's life. Let us pray.
Have mercy on us, O God, according to thy great goodness, we pray unto thee. Hear us and have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. We pray for our most holy Patriarch and our Bishop Longi, and for all our brotherhood in Christ. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Especially we pray for all those who suffer from coronavirus and those who are taking care of them, that good and man-loving and risen Lord might be their strength and their consolation. We pray unto thee, O Lord of mercy, speedily hearken and show mercy. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. O Lord God Almighty, Lord of heaven and earth, and of all creation, visible and invisible, in thy ineffable goodness, look down upon us, thy people gathered in thy holy name. Be our helper and defender in this day of affliction. Thou knowest our weaknesses, thou hearest our cry in repentance and contrition of heart. O Lord, who lovest mankind, deliver us from the impending threat of the coronavirus. Send thine angel to watch over us and protect us. Grant health and recovery to those suffering from this virus. Guide the hands of physicians, nurses, pharmacists, and the first responders, and preserve those who are healthy. Enable us to continue to serve our suffering brothers and sisters in peace, that together we may glorify thy most honorable and majestic name, of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, now and ever, and unto the ages of ages. Amen.
Christos Voskrese. Christ is risen. Christos Voskrese.
Hristos Voskrese iz mrtvih, smrtiju smrt popra, Isus živogrobje, život daroval. Hristos anestijek nekro, Thanato, patizat ketis entis nimas izoi, Arisamenos. Christ is risen from the dead, trampling down death by death, and upon those in the tombs,